Welcome to Skin Deep, a sacred space where we peel back the layers, speak the unspeakable, and remember who we were before the world told us who to be. I'm your host, Kiara Charles. Today is not just another episode, it's the season 1 finale. Yes. From the very first moment, this season has been about awakening, about naming the wounds that silence tried to bury, about remembering our worth through rejection, forgiveness, rage, and release. And before we close this chapter, I want us to gather the threads to hear how every moment, every story, every practice has been pointing us back to the same root, the wound of rejection. So today's episode isn't new. It's the gathering of voices, truths, and pieces of me that have already been spoken. Today, they tell a story of how far we've come and where we're headed next. Every chance he got alone with me, he took it. He tortured me. He haunted me. He molested me. I was a caged bird, and this went on for years. What started as a trauma turned into shame. What turned into shame became silence. And that silence, that was the part that made me feel like I didn't even exist. And that's where our season began, with the silence that tried to cage us. There was a version of me who forgot who I was. And then I remembered. But when the floodgates opened, when the memories came rushing in, that's all I could remember. Trauma became my reality again. I was a caged bird, but not because I was abused, but because I had been taught to be silent. He taught me that silence meant safety. But that's what the enemy does. He creates illusions. He makes something wrong feel right and something right feel unbearable. Like not being able to feel joy because sadness felt safer. I learned the hard way that facts aren't feelings and feelings aren't facts. And the facts aren't always the truth. The real truth, the kind that heals, can only be found within. So I went inside myself. Remembering ourselves is never clean. Trauma tries to rewrite the script, but God keeps the original. I was raised by women who poured, even when their own cups were cracked. And somewhere along the way, I signed a contract I didn't know existed to keep going, to stay strong, and to never speak of the ache. Until one day, I couldn't keep the mask on anymore. It was suffocating me. Before we could name forgiveness, we had to name the mask we inherited. The armor passed down through silence and survival, and the moment we realized those masks were suffocating us. A man who never raised me, never protected me, yet somehow he was now responsible for disciplining me. And when I got there, we played games and he showed me pictures of his other daughter and told me a bit about her, but he mentioned that her mom didn't let her come over much. After dinner, I got ready for bed. I came over with a twin blow-up mattress because he didn't have much furniture. He told me good night and went in his room, but shortly after, somewhere between dream and wake, I felt him getting into the bed with me, behind me. Immediately after that, he began to take his hands across my chest and he began fondling me. And I froze. My body knew it was wrong before my mind could even catch up. I jumped up and I ran into the bathroom, slammed the door and locked it. My heart was racing so fast that it felt like it might leap out of my body. Then he came after me, pounding on the door, screaming at me to come out. Taking out the mask is terrifying, but once we begin, we start to see the contracts that we never agreed to. And that's where forgiveness enters, not as romance, but as rebellion. First step to my healing wasn't joy. It wasn't peace. It was letting go. Letting go of the ache that persecution left behind, the unwashable stains, the residue, the echo of everything I didn't deserve, but still endured. And in order to do that, I had to forgive a lot of people, a lot of offenses, and most of all, I had to forgive myself. And once you face others, you have to face the hardest person to forgive, yourself. But anger, when I finally listened, it wasn't there to destroy me. It was there to protect me, to move me, to show me where healing still had work to do. See, unchecked healing will have you hurting people that never caused your pain. It'll have you living a life that's guarded, believing love is a trap, and mistaken isolation for protection. But sacred anger, righteous anger is different. It's the kind that feels justice. It's the kind that helps you build boundaries. And it's the kind that burns away lies so you can stand in your truth. So I had to learn to sit with my anger without letting it drive the car. To say, okay, I hear you, but now show me what you need me to know. That's when anger stopped being my prison and became my teacher. Anger showed us what forgiveness was trying to cover. That fire is not shame. It's holy when it's harnessed. All I ever wanted to be was worthy. Like a double scoop of chocolate ice cream on a hot Thursday. Or a slice of my favorite cake on my birthday. All I ever wanted to be was worthy. Like a queen on her throne receiving curtsies. Or like death met with life as a mercy. All I ever wanted to be was worthy. Of a life that God planned for me to be prosperous. To be protected by a God with a policy of no tolerance. All I ever wanted to be was worthy. Of the gift of life through this legacy. To get to the gates and God say, you did that pleasantly. All I ever wanted to be was worthy. To be in this God body full armored against the enemy. To be born to a bloodline and be the remedy. All I ever wanted was to be worthy. All I ever wanted is to be worthy. To be called, but to fully embody the spirit of being chosen. To be fearfully and wonderfully made in the most high devotion. All I ever wanted to be was worthy of the many gifts bestowed upon me, of all the blessings that explode on me. All I ever wanted to be was worthy. Like on Valentine's, and I'm the leading lady. Or a positive test after a rainbow baby. All I ever wanted to be is worthy of this light that I've always carried, even when I feel like it wasn't fair to me. All I ever wanted was to be worthy. To be a role model for the little girl in me, writing poetry, not knowing, see, God doesn't measure worth like me because he called my worth before I had a chance to see. Because before he formed me in my mother's womb, he already had a plan for me to be set apart from the world, and he did it lovingly. All I ever wanted was to be worthy. But God said I need not to ever worry because my worth was clear in the fact that he preserved me. All I ever wanted was to be worthy. And so we come full circle. The wound of rejection, that wound was always at the root. Rejection is not your ending. It's not proof you're unworthy. It's just an eclipse, a temporary shadow over everlasting light. And before we close this chapter, I want to leave you with another offering, a letter. For the women who wore strength like armor, even when it didn't fit. Dear Mrs. Strong, it's good to meet you again. Last time I saw you, I was breaking within. You stood so tall while I felt so small, holding it together, no cracks at all. I met Mrs. Hilling the other day, and she had some honest things to say. She showed me parts of you I never knew, and suddenly I saw a different view. She said you were never allowed to fly, just taught to carry and survive. No time to dream, no room for grace, just strength engraved upon your face. She said your smile hid silent cries that no one paused to analyze. But through the weight and through the shame, you mastered how to carry pain. She told me you deserved a rest, to slow your pace, to do your best, without the mask, without the fight, to just be held in healing light. She paused and said she might not change. Her pride runs deep, her heart's been strained. I looked at her and softly asked, well, how do I release this path? She said, you live in your truth each day and use what God placed in your way. You don't deny what kept you strong, but now you get to write your song. So, Mrs. Strong, I'm still with you, but I've got softer things to do. I'm building peace, I'm choosing rest, I'm letting grace lead every step. It doesn't mean I don't still need your power in my time of speed, but you've been fighting far too long. It's time to lay your armor down. You've held the line when things got rough, but now I see that was enough. So thank you for your legacy, your rooted strength inside of me. I'll carry it, but not alone, with gentle love now that I've grown. I'll honor you with every breath, but break the pact that mirrors death. So long, farewell, but not the end. You are my shield, my lifelong friend. Now let me be the one to lead, with truth, with love, and what I need. And that's that, the thread that connects us. Season 1 was about awakening. It was about the daring to name our wounds, the silence, the shame, the rage, the grief, and then find the courage to speak them out loud. If you've been listening from the beginning, thank you. You're not just hearing my story, you're walking your own. Every download, every journal entry, every breath you took alongside of me, it matters. It means you stayed. And this is not the end. It's only the beginning. Season 2 is called A Deeper Dive because now that we've circled the wounds, it's time to go straight to the root. We'll begin with the wound of rejection. Not just naming it, but healing it. Through teachings, through tools, through practices you can do in your daily life. And while you wait for season 2, I want to remind you that the Skin Deep Journal is on its way. It is being created as a companion to these episodes. A place where you can write your truths, gain your breakthroughs, and carry this work into your everyday life. So stay with me, because if season 1 was the awakening, then season 2 is the transformation. Until then, stay rooted, stay focused, stay skin deep.